What's up, everybody? This is Brian.
And I'm Logan. And this is Tops. And this is Bottoms, Middles, and Triples. And we're Fishers! Hi, team. Happy Friday, my wonderful angels on Yassine's channel.
Wow.
You guys look super lovely today.
Yeah.
I don't know. Friday looks good on you.
So in case you guys have not already noticed, obviously we aren't Yassine.
Oh, he's right there.
He is right there. That's very true. We love our little maple man.
Mwah.
So we're missing a couple triangular lights and some stuff, but we are doing a series on our channel. It's called Linking Up, where we link up with our favorite content creators, provide some of their content on our channel. Yassine was so nice enough to ask us to come over on his channel and showcase one of our favorite decks. And by ours, I mean Logan's.
So for those of you who don't know who I am, hi, I'm Logan. And about 9 months ago, I caused a stir in the Yu-Gi-Oh community because I got an invite at an event, and I'm a girl. And that was a big deal for a lot of people. If you want to see the video, go to Team Samurai X1's channel. It's me going like this with a bunch of Duke frogs around me. Yeah, I was at the Toronto Regional. I got my invite with Paleo Frogs. How? I don't know. But I did it. It was really cool. I sat at top tables all day. It was really weird. I sat next to like Triff and like good people. That was weird. I don't know. And I'm over here like, yeah, crack down the Galatea. But yeah, that's something that happened. It was really cool. Super thankful for it. And then that's how our channel became a thing. So if you want to come hang out with us, we're a fun time. We got a bunch of stuffed animals. We have a grand old time.
Baby Yassine.
Yeah.
Cyber Dragons. It's fun.
But I try to update the Paleo deck every few months because honestly, people just want to see what's changing in the deck. And I know that Toad is at 1 and it's not the most viable deck right now. I'm very aware. It's barely, maybe tier 3. So don't go out thinking I'm like, yeah, Toads are the best. It's not. It's not the best deck. It's okay. I'm very self-aware. I do still love the deck. I do still think it's worth playing. You never know, Toad could come to 2 or even 3 someday. Again.
Yeah, like in the next week or so.
Oh my
the
god.
ban was coming
no,
real soon.
Sooner than.
Wow.
Oh. And there are a lot of new cards that actually have come out in the last few months that do help the deck, specifically in Echo. So the deck has actually improved a little bit, and I've actually made it better for going second. Wow. Things the deck really struggles to do. I did an updated version on our channel about a month ago, but you guys are getting a brand new version that I just fixed up for you guys because you deserve it.
Hey.
So just so you know, going into this profile, I do know what I'm doing, kind of. This deck is okay. But before we get into this really, really great rogue deck, we just wanted to thank Yassine for having us today. We're really good friends with Yassine in real life. He's been a really big help for us as players over the last almost like year? Yeah. So yeah, we're super new players. We're super happy to have an awesome community that's so strong and so big and growing even more.
So as we said earlier, we are doing a series on our channel called Linking Up. Yassine was so kind to upload on our channel today with one of his most favorite decks, which is Cyber Dragon Traps. He is super duper well known for this deck. He's gotten multiple invites. He knows exactly what he's talking about when it comes to this deck. So
unlike me with my deck.
Make sure you guys head down to the description box down below. Check out our channel and the video that Yassine uploaded. Make sure you subscribe to Yassine, subscribe to our channel, and let's get into this new Paleo deck.
RIBBIT. So this is going to be the updated version of the deck. The meta, or whatever format we're in right now, is actually pretty crazy. So this deck definitely isn't anything tier 1, 2, or maybe 3. But I recently just updated it. I haven't actually put an updated profile up on the channel in probably over a month. So you guys are actually getting the first peek at the new tech and new stuff to combat with the meta. So let's just dive right into this lovely little lily pad land, shall we? Chipples, you want to help me, bud? Wow, thanks, bud. That was really helpful. All right. So we're playing a really standard frog package in this deck. We're playing 3 swap frog, which is the only number that you should ever play. If you don't know, you can special summon this card from your hand by discarding another water monster. Any water monster, doesn't have to be an aqua, doesn't have to be a frog. And when he's summoned, you can send a level 2 or lower water aqua monster from your deck or face-up field to the graveyard. You never really do the field effect, you just dump from deck to grave, and it's typically Ronin Toadin. And then since you special swap, you don't really ever want to just normal summon him unless you're really desperate and want to set up for the next turn, but I don't recommend it. You can bounce him back to your hand and then normal summon him and then get his effect again because it is not hard once per turn.
And if you have the ability to like normal summon him or special summon him and then send a card from the deck to the graveyard and then bounce him back, that actually has some synergy with some cards you'll see later on in the profile.
Yeah, so even if you do have to normal summon him and you don't have a water to discard in the first place, you can normal summon him, dump, and then just bounce him back to your hand so you don't have any bodies on board turn 1, which will actually be kind of helpful later on in the deck. But yeah, you almost always want a special because he's just an automatic toad if you can special him out. And then we're playing 3 Dupe Frog. You have to play 3 Dupe Frog. This is really standard frog ratios of 3-3-2. Your opponent can only target Dupe Frog for attacks. They can't target anything else, and it's kind of cool with Avermax in the extra deck, which we'll get into later. You can actually create a soft lock with this and Avermax on the field, so that's kind of funny. And it's one of my favorite cheese plays to do. But he's really just your main target for Totally Awesome. In the standby phase, you detach off of Toad, and then you'll just summon this out in defense mode, and then your opponent can only attack Dupe Frog, and then your Toad is protected, yada yada yada. He's a good boy. He will probably always miss timing off of his second effect, which allows you to search a frog to your hand, but because he is a 1 effect and not an if effect, he almost always misses timing, so really it's only if he gets hit in battle, which is cool because they have to attack in him anyway, and then typically he'll resolve that way, but it's usually pretty hard for him to make timing. Next up, 2 Ronin Toadin. That's all you need. You only play 2. You don't need 2. He's not a hard once per turn, so you can recycle him like absolute crazy, and it's very rare where they're banishing both of them if they really decide to do that for you. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish a frog monster, special summon this card. Not a hard once per turn. You can go absolutely bonkers. It's really cool. And now we're moving into an 8-card strategy for like combating this weird magical land that we're in right now. We're playing triple Gizmek Uka, the Festive Fox of Fesundity, and then 1 Barrier Statue of the Torrent. This is really good because the deck kind of sucks going second, and that's not really a question or a debate. So going second is always a struggle because we don't really set up. So Uka's really good in this deck going second because if you end up going second against a combo deck and they're going off in their whole play, whatever your opponent special summons a monster from the deck, which is, you know, very typical off of Needle Fiber, you can just special summon this out from your hand, and then you can target the Needle Fiber because it is a water, and then you can just summon out the Barrier Statue of the Torrent and then lock your opponent out of special summoning, and they're sitting on a Needle Fiber, so it's actually pretty cool. It's really good against pretty much any combo deck right now because pretty much every combo deck is playing Needle Fiber, so it's great. It's awesome, and it's also got a cheese effect where each time your opponent normally special summons a monster while Uka is on the field, you inflict 300 damage to them. That's bonkers. It's literally kind of like a spooky built-in dogwood. It's really nice. I like this card a lot. I think it's really awesome, and people don't expect it, especially in this deck, and it's a tech that I've been really happy with. So Barrier Statues and Paleo, that's where we're at right now, team. And then again, this deck does not do super well going second, so we have 4 more cards that are going into the deck for going second, and that is Gamma and the Driver Package. This is obviously really good because typically if you go first, you're not always guaranteed Toad because let's be honest, you're very rarely going to open swap in a water monster. And so if you end up just setting for passing or whatever, this ensures that you can go into turn 2 and your opponent can start comboing off, and you can actually still stop their turn entirely, and you're not going to get OTK'd into oblivion. And obviously everyone knows that Gamma is literally just game stopping right now. It's absolutely bonkers. Alright, so we're going to move into the traps. I'm going to move relatively quickly through these because I've already covered this all on the channel beforehand, so if you want to go check out my previous build, it is on the channel from like a month ago. Alright, we're going to move on to the traps. I'm just going to go through them relatively quickly because it's pretty general across the board. Nothing really has changed in the deck in general in terms of traps. If you want to see them, I did a profile about a month ago. They have all pretty much stayed the same, and I don't want to keep you guys here forever. So let's just go through traps, shall we? Alright, we're playing Triple Infinite Impermanence. Obviously, great card. Best trap. Literally, you know what Imperm does. I'm not going to explain this to you. It's a great card. Trap Trick. 3. Mandatory. Probably, again, the best trap in the deck. It's absolutely bonkers. You could literally just screw your opponent in so many different ways with this card. It's so good. You can get out most of your deck. It's absolutely bonkers, and it's just free help for you at any point in time, and you can chain it to pretty much anything, so it's great. So if they go to activate Lightning Storm in game 2, and you can just chain Trap Trick, and you, oh, I don't know, you sided in your Waking the Dragons, and then you can just set the Waking the Dragon. Oh, oops, they hit the Waking the Dragon because of Lightning Storm. Isn't that crazy? Guess you just lost the game because Last Warrior's on the field now. Thirdly, Triple Dynamiscus. Absolutely bonkers. Dynamiscus is so good. I don't know why you wouldn't play it at 3. Card's so good. I'm trying to keep the Paleos at like a kind of minimum in this deck, but Dynamiscus definitely deserves to be at 3. Great card. Then obviously you play 3 Canadia. He's your Book of Moon in the deck. And then last for the Paleos, because we're just playing 9 because Morales sucks. I don't know why I ever played that card. It was okay like 3 formats ago, but now it's absolutely god-awful.
Way too slow.
Yeah. The rest of the Paleos just aren't cutting it. These ones are barely good enough, and it's just because they banish, they Book a Moon, and they MST. That's it. That's as good as it gets for us. And then if you somehow didn't know about the Paleos as a trap card, when a trap card is activated while this card is in the graveyard, any of the Paleos, you can special summon it as a normal monster at Aqua level 2 attack, 1200, defense 0. It's not treated as a trap card, and it's also unaffected by monster effects, which is pretty darn cool. But it's banished when it leaves the field. Wow. So what's cool is when you activate Trap Trick and you go to chain this isn't counting as a trap activating, this is just a trap effect. So that doesn't count as your one last trap after trap trick. Whoever tells you that is insane. That's not true. You can train your Paleos and you can still activate a trap. This is just an effect. And I know that MST negates, but Illinois doesn't. And then obviously another one of the best traps. This whole thing is just best traps. I don't really know what to tell you, but triple compulsory evacuation device or just compulse. Everyone always loves hearing just compulse because it just feels really bad. The only sucky thing about compulse is it targets. It's a really big downside to this deck and a really big fault is a lot of things target. Having non-targeting removal is kind of an extra deck reliant thing that I'm doing, and it's also in the side, but compulse is still amazing nonetheless because you can target Boral Sword. It's really good. Need I say more? Just bouncy boo, get off my board, have a good time, ribbit ribbit, hop hop, welcome to the pond. And then a card that I will still fight for until my dying breath is Get Out. Get Out is phenomenal. I played it in my invite winning deck, but I only had 2 copies, and then a lovely subscriber sent us our 3rd copy. Thanks, bud, you're absolutely perfect. But Get Out is a sleeper card. I will fight for it to the end of my days. It's target 2 monsters your opponent controls that are special summoned from the extra deck and shuffle them into the deck. So good. And it's super wonderful because the whole meta is combo right now. Like, it gets rid of 2 extra deck monsters. That's literally every deck right now. It's so nice. So as soon as they basically start to go into their combo and there's 2 extra deck monsters, just go nuts and be like, no, you can't. It's so fun. It's so good. You can trap trick it. It's absolutely wonderful. It makes them really sad. I love this card. And now it's an ultra rare out of the tins. So, everyone can have one now. Everybody can get the hell out together. Isn't that cute? Tell the meta to get out. Just do it for me. Do it for the frogs. Also, we won the poll. Yay, round 2. Here we come, team. And then we're playing 2 copies of Titanicider. I don't really think 3 is necessary. I was kind of debating between this and Lost Wind, and I say this in my other profile. There's ups and downs for both cards, so like this could be Lost Wind. There's no reason this couldn't be Lost Wind. But Titanicider is only good because it changes the attack to 0, whereas Lost Wind just halves it. And this targets a face-up monster your opponent controls as special summoned from the extra deck, whereas Lost Wind is just special summoned. So there's a little different stipulation there, but then you change the attack to 0 and negate its effects. So that's cool. And then if your opponent special summons from the extra deck while this card's in your graveyard, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can set this card. So it's just like Lost Wind essentially, but it's got Appaloosa on it, so that, you know, makes it better, right? That's what we do here. So yeah, just 2, you can trap trick it. It's not super important in the deck, but it's still a really good card. And then next we have the sacky one-ofs that make your day so much better. Imperial Order and Scapegoat. This card, obviously a phenomenal floodgate of a card, basically says no, absolutely can win you games in so many ways. And then Scapegoat is literally free Boral Sword, free Avermax, free win. Free, it's free, it's Scapegoat. Like, dude, bro. Goat. Literally the goat. That's it. It's simple. It's a 41 card deck. Super great. All about it. Extra deck time. Moving on to the extra deck, you just saw Scapegoat. We're playing Link Spider and Link Haribo because obviously Scapegoat, Paleos, normal level 1s. But he's an ulti, so that's what matters. Wow, it looks really good. Jeez, guys, look at Logan flexing her ulti Link Spider. And then moving on to the hippity hoppity section, because, you know, we like to bounce around and hop in this deck because they're frogs. We have Akashic Magician and Security Dragon. People really don't like Akashic and don't really play her because I get it. She's not the best card, but I really like her because she's non-targeting removal in the deck. And since this deck really struggles against things that like need to not be targeted, here she is. She's one of your fun outs. She's really great against BLS because BLS has an arrow that points down. You can just pop her on there and co-link her, and then the doink, anything that she points to when she's summoned gets returned to the hand. Non-targeting, she doesn't have to be co-linked to it. And then obviously if you just put her in like a linking zone, if she points to say the main monster zone and you have a Dragoon there or there's something else there, like wow, it just gets rid of it. Anything that she points to, but she doesn't have to be co-linked, which is cool, whereas Security Dragon does have to be co-linked. So she just has to point to something, Security Dragon has to be co-linked, so you would basically go into Akashic and then you'd use Akashic and then you would go into Security Dragon and then target to bounce something on Security Dragon effect as well. So it's cool. Bounce, bounce. You just got rid of 2 cards on the field. That's pretty neat. This card kind of sucks, but like it's fine. Marince's Coralline Enemy. I don't know. I've been playing it lately. It's like okay. It sucks because she locks you into waters, and the reason that Marincess will never see the meta light of day. But you can target a water monster with 1500 or less attack in your graveyard, special summon it to a zone this card points to, but you cannot special summon monsters the rest of this turn except water monsters. So that's really lame. So the only reason you really play her is to revive your barrier statue and just relock your opponent out. So like if you're in like a grind and you're just like, oh, I need something, I need to do something, and you have the barrier statue that you already used and they outed it, good news, you can just get it out again because it's 1,000, and then you can just relock them. So you don't have to keep summoning and you can just sit on it. And then we have another water girl that I actually really really like and prefer and think is actually perfect. It's Area, the water charmer.
Wow, was that Europrint?
Gentle. I think she's fantastic. She's really good in this meta, again, because Needle Fiber is a card and her effect is bonkers. It's not even on summon. You can target a water monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your zone this card points to. Wow. You go in, take their Needle Fiber, and then just summon it to your field. It's like, oh, look at that. I have 2 Link 2s now, and it's a Needle Fiber. How fun. So that's like absolutely bonkers. You just got a free Avermax for literally no reason. Like, it's so good. I don't know. I think it's such a funny cheese play that people are like, oh crap, Area's like actually good. And then if this Link Summon card is destroyed by battle or destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add a water monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. You know what that is in the deck, fam? That's Swap Frog. You get to add Best Boy to your hand. Isn't that a blessing in disguise? It's so cool. So on field, she's bonkers. You get a free Link 4. And then when she goes bye-bye in any way, shape, or form, you get a free Swap Frog. That's a plus to me, fam. Oh, it's Best Girl. She's secret now. Ultra's cool and everything, but like, look at her. Ooh, all right, so you play IP. Obviously, she's bonkers. She's 2 non-link monsters. You can use Scapegoat tokens. You can use Paleos. You can use anything. She's free in this deck. And then she's also really good if you're going into Avermax or Borosword or whatever. Usually Avermax because she's Link 2 and you can just go into 2 Link 2s and boom, you've got an indestructible Avermax. So good, so free, so easy. We love to see it. And then, you know, Unicorn. Man, guys, you know it's really tough having nightmares at night. Oh my god, I know. I have night terrors all the time. It's really rough, but it's okay. These are different kinds of nightmares. We want these nightmares. We got Phoenix, Unicorn, Cerberus. Obviously, pop special summon things, shuffle back in the deck, pop back row. You can co-link, you can draw, you can do all the fun things. Colors. Oh wow, Mechanites. Oh my god, did someone say lore? Oh my god, guess what? We did the World Legacy lore. Feel free to watch that. It's really funny and really good. It's not funny, it's just good. Alright, and then we're almost done with the links, but we have Avermax because he's the most handsome man on earth. I don't know, if y'all don't love Avermax like I do, that's okay. I understand everyone's different, but man, what a guy. Avermax is nutty in this deck because again, this deck really struggles against everything. So if you can IP an Avermax, he's non-targetable, can't be destroyed by card effects. Your opponent can only attack into him. He gains the attack. You're basically hitting for 3k no matter what. And then if you also somehow have a Dupe Frog on field, you can literally just soft lock your opponent so they can't attack you. And it's so cool. I love doing that. It's so fun. Oh man, it's so fun soft locking your opponent in a bad deck. And then obviously if you didn't know, Avermax has an effect when he leaves the field, you can shuffle a card on the field into the deck. So he's kind of like a little opposite Dingirsu kind of thing. It's kind of cool. Borosword! There's only one now. He's the only one we have. But it's okay, friends. We're gonna make it through the polls together. And everything's gonna be fine. And he's gonna come back to at least 2, right? It's okay. You're not a bad boy. You didn't deserve it. You weren't hurting anybody, bud. I'm not gonna really explain this card. But I guess I will because, I mean, I'll feel bad for people who don't know. But once per turn, during the standby phase, you can detach an Xyz material from this card. Special summon a frog from your deck. That's Dupe Frog. Once per turn, during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell, trap card, or monster effect, you can send an Aqua-type monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, negate the activation, destroy the card, and then you can set it to your field. That's kinda cool. If this card is sent to the graveyard, that's an if effect, not a when, which means it won't miss timing, like Dupe Frog. You can target a water monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Now, your only option is to add this back to the extra deck. Before it was cool and you could add swap or something back or, you know, a resource. Now, you have to hope to God this doesn't get banished somehow and add it back to your extra deck. That's it. That's my son. And then, Waking the Dragon targets. We play Waking the Dragon. Obviously, it's so free in this deck. It's so fun. It's so cheese. It's so easy. Last warrior from another planet. You don't get to summon or have fun, and I'm just gonna beat you down. And they really just have to negate him somehow, like with back row, like in perm or droplets or whatever. And then Ultimate Big Bird is just great because he's unaffected by card effects. So, wow, amazing. Birds, planets. I'm lost. So yeah, that's it. That's the deck. It's pretty simple. If you want an in-depth version, I did it on the channel in the deck profile section about a month ago. If you want me to update it, I will, but this is the most updated version just for you guys. I hope you had a great time. This was a lot of fun. Feel free to come check us out over at Crush Cards. We have a lot of fun. We're a big happy family, and I already love your perfect face. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Yassine, for having us. It's really cool hanging out with new communities, and we hope you guys come and be a part of ours because it means a lot, and we love you. You matter. Don't forget, toad to two and vote for frogs. Mwah!